Hey guys, what is going on? Payne here once again, and welcome back to my Manchester United career. Wow, it's been so long since I've actually said that. Welcome back to my Manchester United career on FIFA 14. It is good to be back. Now, on my previous episode with Manchester United, we opened up the Premier League season with a fixture away against Sunderland. We did lose that, unfortunately. I was kind of annoyed at that, actually, because we didn't even pick up all 3 points on the opening day of the Premier League. But my main focus now, before the end of August, is to bring in some world-class players. As you saw, I was adding the likes of Gundogan, Royce, Vidal, even Cavani as well to my shortlist, as well as putting in offers for them and seeing who could possibly come to Manchester United before that transfer deadline day. Juan Mata played in that game. That was his debut against Sunderland. I thought he did pretty well. I really enjoyed actually using him in this United team. In that first episode as well, guys, you got to see the formation that I'm probably going to be using throughout the whole of this season. As you know, Juan Mata, his normal position that he likes to work in is the central attacking mid-role, slipping in just behind the strikers. So I decided to go with the 4-3-1-2 formation, which will also allow Van Persie and Rooney to work alongside each other, or maybe Danny Welbeck can come in as well if one of the players are injured or lacking fitness. And that also allows Mata to slip in just behind in that cam position. And if I do decide to bring in the likes of Vidal or maybe even Gundogan or Royce, then they can slip in the centre of midfield there. On FIFA as well, when you actually see the formation put out, it seems as though they're all bunched together in that central midfield. But with the wingers, they can spread out to the left and right and go as wide as possible. So I'm kind of liking it at the moment. I know I didn't choose that formation for this game, our second game of the season against Aston Villa at Old Trafford. I wanted to just stick with a basic Man United side, see how we could get on against Villa, and then if need be I could possibly bring on Juan Mata in the second half to add strength to our attack if we find ourselves on the back foot. But it wasn't looking that way after Wayne Rooney opened up the scoring with just under half an hour gone of the game. If any of you guys did miss my previous episode, what the plan is for this series with Manchester United is not only to do a whole career going through every single game of the season, seeing what I can produce. I want to try and bring in players that I would like to see in real life at United come the summer, that David Moyes is going to sign up. And I'm also going to be talking about what's happening at the club, the current situation with David Moyes and the results that the real United team are picking up. And just basically discuss with you guys my thoughts, my opinions on the matter at hand, really, with United, and also to read some of your opinions as well in the comments section below. Now, in this game, Aston Villa did draw level before half-time. We have had a pretty rocky start to the season, I will admit, but that always happens with me for some reason on FIFA. When I'm in charge at Manchester United, I always seem to have a bit of a tough start. Hopefully things will start to turn around though once I start bringing in players like Vidal. I'd like to see Vidal at Manchester United. I think he would be just right. I think he'd fit in just perfectly at Manchester United, not on the game but also in real life. But anyway, guys, you're just going to have to stay tuned because we've got Arsenal after Aston Villa. You'll see the highlights of that as always. And then after that, we've got the transfer deadline day. Who will I bring to Old Trafford before the transfer deadline day? Now, as you can see here, at half-time, I changed the formation, trying to trick Aston Villa because, as you know, I started out with the 4-2-3-1 formation. I then changed to the 4-3-1-2 formation. I hope I got both of those right because they kind of sound similar, don't they? The 4-3-1-2 and the 4-2-3-1, if you say it quick enough. But yes, I did change that, and I took Fellaini off and brought Mata on. We were still drawing with Aston Villa. We needed to turn that around, and you've got to admit, how cool does Mata look in a Manchester United jersey? He looks amazing, right? It just suits him perfectly. Also, just going back quickly to transfers and the sort of players that I want to be bringing in this season on this career mode. I know I need to strengthen the back four at United. It's not the best, it's not the strongest in the Premier League at all. So that's one of the positions I want to be trying to strengthen. Now, I know some of you guys would be like, well, go after Mats Hummels, and I'd love to. But the thing is, on this career mode, he's moved to Manchester City already, and those two teams, as you know, don't do business. It's never been known. It'll never happen in all of the club's history. It just won't happen between City and United. So Mats Hummels has been ruled out. I'm not too sure, well, at the time of playing this game, I wasn't too sure who I would bring to the club. But then I had a pretty good idea of who I would like to see then, if I couldn't get Mats Hummels. I would then go after Valencia's own Rami, the French centre-half. Yes, he's a bit older than you would expect, but I think he'd be a perfect signing for that back four to strengthen it and to continue leading Manchester United to success. He is a leader on that pitch. I know some of these ideas, some of these players that I am bringing to the club are quite a few from Valencia. That's because I did a career mode with Valencia. But some of the players they've got there, amazing. So anyway, after that game against Villa, received a couple of offers for Evra, Valencia, rejected them both. I want to keep them two at the club, especially Valencia. I really do rate Valencia. When him and Rafael are playing on the pitch, you just know you're in for a good time. You're in for an entertaining time watching Manchester United. Them two just link up so perfectly. It's a perfect partnership with the right back and the right mid. It's wonderful. They can play the overlap as well. It's just vintage Manchester United. That's how they've always played, with the overlap and linking up between the right back and the right mid, and the same goes for the left back and the left mid as well. But it's the majority of the time, as you'll always notice, it's always the right back, it's always the right side for United that always link up the strongest whenever playing a game. If you ever sit for the 90 minutes watching Man United in real life, you'll always see that. It's the same pattern, and maybe that's what's happening. Maybe teams are starting to get used to that. Maybe they're, sitting down, they're studying footage from United. Why they didn't do that before, I don't know, but that's probably what's happening this season. Maybe Moyes just making it a bit too obvious with what we're planning on doing in that game. And we saw it quite a lot, actually, in the game against Fulham on the weekend where we drew 2-2. It was always down the left and the right, and they kept swinging in crosses. They was making it too obvious. They needed to change their way of play if they wanted to try and break down that wall. Yes, Fulham were defending for the rest of the game, but eventually you're going to break them down. But in this game, we didn't. Manchester United, we didn't break Fulham's defence, and it was terrible just seeing what I think it was something like 100 and odd crosses into the box, was it? Something like that. It was silly anyway. United were absolutely dominating Fulham on the weekend. Every statistic, they were dominating. And it just makes you wonder, well, why didn't we win? We could have probably won something like 10-1 against Fulham, the amount of chances that we had. And when Bent scored that goal, good God, seriously. I think it was because United were sat too far forwards that we was in ultra attacking mode against Fulham near the end of the game, and they just hit us on the counter attack, and luckily for them, it worked for them. They got a second goal. It's so frustrating to watch. It really is. I think I even pounded my fist against the wall in frustration, because when United turned that game around, you saw the determination, you saw the relief in David Moyes when he fist punched the air. I think he was even doing that to Sir Alex to say, it's about time, we're turning things around. And I kind of got goosebumps when he did that. It's like a sign of things to come in a way, and then they go and get that second goal, the equaliser from Darren Bent. As I say, this season it just can't end quick enough for United fans. It's just getting to the point now where we're like, let's give up and we'll come back again fresh-faced in the summer. If only you could do that, right? If only you could just say, well, let's end the season and we'll start again. A fresh new start for next season. So anyway, we did draw that game against Arsenal. It ended 0-0. I was kind of disappointed. I felt as though we should have won that one, really, with the amount of chances that we had. But anyway, let's move on. It's the transfer deadline day, Sunday, August 31st, 2014. And just look at that shortlist. Just look at the amount of names. Look at the amount of money that could be splashed out there on those players. I did eventually go after Adil Rami from Valencia. I did inquire, as you saw a bit earlier on, and they said we would take a 10.5 million deal and we'd accept it. But I thought, well, let's see if we can get it for less. I put in an 8 million bid. Kind of optimistic, really, but you never know with FIFA. Anything could happen. And seeing that it was transfer deadline day, I was just putting in offers for pretty much every player that was on that shortlist. We got Royce, I was putting in a bid for him. His value says 42.5 million, and I think that's how much Dortmund will probably let him go for, and no less than that. So I put in a bid of 20 million. with a player of my choice, and I was going through the list. Who could I possibly pick to maybe do a swap deal? And eventually I fell upon Young. Yes, I know it probably won't even go through, but you never know, as I say. Dortmund, though, they would probably be out of their minds if they actually went ahead and said, yeah, we'll go for that. My transfer offer for Rami was unacceptable, apparently, so I put it up to 9.5 million. Let's see if we can get our man. Let's see if Rami can come to Old Trafford. 6 hours remaining of the transfer deadline day. We've already captured Juan Mata for the sum of 33 million. Obviously, Dortmund were going to reject my offer for Marco Reus. It was unacceptable. How dare you offer Ashley Young? This is a disgrace. It's an insult. And I got an offer for Bebe from Blackburn Rovers, a season loan. He's gone now for the whole season. My transfer offer was accepted, 9.5 million for Adil Rami. All I had to do was offer him a contract worth 80 grand a week for 2 years, and he would be an important first team player. And that clause would allow me to rotate Rami throughout the season, get him used to playing with Manchester United and gelling with our back four. I then continue my search for world-class players to bring to Old Trafford before that transfer deadline day. I offered Juventus 10 million for Vidal as well as Nani. I don't really see Nani fitting into my plans this season if I'm going to be looking to bring in the likes of Reus and Vidal. So after that, I went straight to offering PSG a deal, seeing if I could bring Cavani to Old Trafford. How big of a signing would that be if I managed to capture him before the transfer deadline day reached an end? So I offered them 20 million, and I thought, well, we'll offer them a player. They're looking for about 53 million for Cavani. It's crazy money. But I thought, well, we'll offer Hernandez as well. Probably won't get accepted, but this is what you've got to do on transfer deadline day. You've just got to keep going out there and offering deals to clubs for players that you possibly want to bring to your team. I did get my contract offer accepted by Rami, but I stalled that with just 3 hours remaining. Obviously, PSG rejected my offer for Cavani, but Juventus accepted my offer for Vidal. So Nani could possibly be going to Juventus. I could be bringing Vidal to Old Trafford for the sum of 10.5 million. It's a deal. So I offered him a contract, 130,000 a week. Only 2 hours remained before Big Ben started to ring midnight in, and Vidal accepted my contract offer. So I've now got 2 players that I could bring to Manchester United. It was too good of a deal. I had to accept. Vidal, ladies and gentlemen, is now a Manchester United player. It's going to be good. And then I thought, well, we've got enough money here to accept Rami as well. So that's 2 major signings that I've just brought in to Manchester United for the season ahead. There we go. In the media, in the news, Manchester United and Juventus finally agree on terms for Vidal. Nani is off to Juventus, whereas Vidal enters Old Trafford. Will he be taking the number 17? Who knows? You guys are just going to have to stay tuned in the next video. Will Vidal be as good as he was for my United side when I played FIFA 14 on the PS3? It's going to be very interesting. Also, there is the headline as well, as you'll see any second now. Manchester United have completed the Adil Rami signing. It's great to have captured him. So that's 5 world-class players signed to Manchester United in the summer. That's Rami, we've got Vidal, we've got Mata, we've got Banega, and also Diego Alves. And I'm sure there's going to be more to come as we progress through this season, guys. I do hope that you've all enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.